Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. Today I'm doing another episode of Amazing Games, and for this one, I've chosen Bomb Squad for the Intellivision. It's a very interesting game. I mean, it's very different than what what other games you would play on, well, even today. I mean, it's kind of a different game, and that's what I like about it. I always thought this game had something to it that a lot of other games didn't have. Like, pretty much most Intellivision games, you got your overlays, the manual, and your cartridge sitting in here. This is why a lot of people kept the boxes, which is cool about Intellivision. And you see the instruction manual right there, which is fairly important because you have to know what you're doing. If you just try to play this game without reading manual or understanding what's going on, you're going to be completely lost. Essentially what you're doing is there's a mad bomber who has rigged up some explosives in the city, and you're the bomb squad unit to go in there, and you have to deactivate the bomb. And you got to use your tools, you got to clip away at certain parts, you have to replace certain parts, kind of like in the movies where you see them, you know, they have to snip the wire, and you're worried if you snip the wrong wire, what's going to happen? Is it going to accelerate the timer? Is it going to blow up? That's pretty much what you're doing in here. And when you get to that point where you've deactivated enough of the circuit board, you start to get a digit, like a number, kind of like in there. I'll show you in the game, and you gotta literally just decipher what that number is. And once you figure out the number, you press it on your control pad, and then you plug your ears and hope you don't explode. So I'm gonna take the game out. So what makes this a little bit different is, I'm gonna put that back in there, this one talks. This is an IntelliVoice Intellivision game, and if you don't know what that is, that's this module right here. It is a kind of a peripheral. You stick it into the, or a module. I don't know what you want to call it. Maybe it's a module. Yeah. IntelliVoice Voice Synthesis Module. Not a peripheral. But you stick that into the system. And then you take the cartridge, just like you normally would, and put it into the slot. And then you end up with this big beast of a system sitting on your desk, or wherever you like to play. And now you got voice, and you actually have a volume control, so you don't have to like wander over to your TV to change if it's too loud or whatever. I don't know if it's necessary. Usually you keep your volume at a normal pace anyways. I don't know why you would need that. I guess they figured that it's because listening to the volume is very important with these games, like you have to hear what they're saying, that they thought maybe they should include this on there. So yeah, let's go to Bomb Squad and see if I could actually deactivate the bomb and not blow up my entire city.
Mattel Electronics presents Bomb Squad.
So that's the IntelliVoice right there speaking. Yeah, I mean, this was cutting edge when I first got this. I mean, you can see it's 1982, and you know, for the Intellivision to be able to talk was just amazing. Let's just move on to the game, shall we? So you got options here. You could pick 1, 2, or 3, the amount of bombs you want. We're going to go with that. 1, enter, and let's just stick with level 1 because that's easier. So you can see that's your city there. That's what you don't want to have blown up. So really, this is, I mean, your main area here where you're trying to figure out what the number is. And you can pick which square you want to try and decipher. So as you pick the squares, when you solve the circuit, it'll either be an area where a part of the number is or nothing. So you have to really think of where you want to start your game. So this is where you have to also pay attention. So you have to pick your tool. I'm going to pick my snippers. Kind of looks like medical snippers to me. I always thought that anyways. Then you can get them to repeat the message. See if I could... So it tells you which one to cut out first. If you cut out the wrong one, it will be a problem. So I'm just going to move my snippers, cut out the solder piece. Then you need your extractor. This is the extractor bit. Just got to move around. And you put. This is why it's important to have the overlay, because the overlay tells you what all the tools, which tools they are, how to work them. So unless you play it all the time and you remember all that stuff. Now here comes the hard part. You have to choose from all these pieces up here which one's going to fit in there. So you can start off with this one. You pick it, and then you go down. And if you don't place it properly, that creates a problem too. I'm going to drop it. Then you get your soldering gun.
28 minutes till blast.
Yeah, the nice little bag tells you got 28 minutes till the blast. And you blow up if you don't. So I'm going to solder. And then it'll tell me if it's a problem or not.
Okay.
Okay, so I got lucky on that one. So now I'm going to hit the sequence.
Cut this out first. This second.
So it said this is first, this is second. So that's kind of neat. Okay, let's cut that away. I like how the music is kind of done in a way that it kind of makes you feel like rushing, like you gotta rush. That under pressure style music. They use music like that in Castlevania a lot, especially Castlevania 3. Play that music, that just kind of upbeat pressure music. Drop. I have to say the difficulty of this game is just to like navigate yourself around the controller and be able to pick the right ones all the time. Pick the right buttons. I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna try this piece. And you'll see what happens if you put it down wrong. It starts to freak out. Alright, now I'm just gonna solder that in. I mean, overall, the game, there's not a whole lot of excitement going on at all times. Uh-oh, wrong part. As soon as that happens, you better get that part out of there as fast as possible.
26 minutes till blast.
Oh, wrong tool. There's a, I believe there's a speed, yeah, that's it. There's a speed way. You can push the other button, and it can speed the tool up. Comes in handy when you really want to go faster. Get this thing going. But really, it's just a guessing game at this point. Because you don't know which piece is going to, which piece is going to actually, not want to explode the, bomb. Let's drop that there. It's like you feel like you're actually working on a bomb right now, and the wrong part is going to blow you to smithereens. Kind of like when you see in movies when they have to cut the wires, and it's like, is it the red wire? Is it the blue wire? Am I going to blow myself up? Honestly, I don't know how anybody could actually work on the bomb squad department. I mean, that would just horrify me. One wrong move, and yeah. One wrong snip of a wire, you're splattered all over the wall. Oh no. Whoa. But the thing I really liked about this game is it was so much different than other games that I was playing. Or that I was used to. I mean, there's a lot of space games and sports games that you get used to. You know, I didn't even try the other part. This was like such a different game. Like I've never played another game that was like this, where you actually have to like solder parts and defuse bombs. Okay, so it turned out it was that part again. All right, now I just have to remember what was. Okay, that one. The voice is really important, because if you don't listen to the voice, you don't know which one you're supposed to cut out. Let's just try this one again. Whoops. I always called this part a battery, because it looks like a battery. It's probably like a resistor or something like that. I don't know if they actually named the parts.
You did it!
Yay! Okay. Now I can... How do I get out of here? I can't remember now. Even with all the buttons. Oh, there it is. Exit. Okay, so this is a green dot. That means that it's either going to be something like this, or like you kind of got to figure out what the digit's going to be. So, maybe I can try. Let's go down here.
It won't be easy. Cut this out. Third is first is second.
Alright.
Left four. Left four. Going.
Now exit. Okay, so the green one's down there now. So, I mean, it could be 8, it could be 0, I believe. It's not going to be, I don't think it'll be a 1, because I don't think the 1s have that bottom part there. It could be a 3. So let's go over here.
They'll never do it in time. Replace this second, this first, this third.
I'm trying to wonder if all of them are now going to be that gray piece.
20 minutes till blast.
Maybe it's always the gray piece on easy, I don't know. Let's find out.
Right four. Long
Nope, that killed that theory. Yeah, let's snip that out. Okay, so now I've completed about, well, I got 3 of them done. So I'm looking at this. This could be like a 3, because there's one there, and there's one there. I thought maybe it would be an 8, but it can't be an 8, because then that would have to be blue, or the green block as well, because you'd have to complete the circle. So this is a good way, like, you can keep playing and playing until you uncover more squares. I'm just going to take a chance here and see if I can guess it. Let's see.
The code. Figure out the code.
So I'm going to guess that it is, I think it's 3.
Are you sure?
Oh, wait. Maybe it can't be 3.
The code. Figure
Because
out the code. Are you sure?
3 doesn't have a green spot there, and that's what 3 would look like. So, well, it can't be 1. Might be 2. Not 3. It's definitely, I don't think it's going to be 4.
8 minutes till blast.
5, 6, 7. Nope, it's not 8. And it could be, oh, it's not 9. Maybe it's 4. Let's just try it and see if I blow myself up.
Good going. You did it. You're a hero. They'll be looking for us.
Now that was just a good guess. Because I could have blown myself up. At least you get nice little fireworks and the city's happy that you didn't blow them up.
It won't be easy. The code. Figure out the code.
So I'm just going to show a little bit of what it looks like on 3. This is like the hardest I think you can go. So you got 3 digits now, and you got 30 minutes to do it. But then also there's more that complicates the issue. So let's just, this would be really difficult. I don't know if I'd be able to do this.
They'll be looking for us. Cut this out. Second, this first, this fifth, this third, this fourth.
So we got a fifth piece there.
Cut this out. Second, this first,
Now this is my first piece.
this third, this fourth.
No pressure or nothing. And we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces to go through. I mean, this would just be like, yeah. And if you notice the tool moves a lot faster. if you notice the board shook a bit. I think what happens is it shakes sometimes, and then your soldering comes loose. And these parts fall into there, which is bad. You gotta get rid of that. Because that just eats away at your time. So then we're gonna... Because it's moving a lot faster now, you really gotta get it in the right spot there. Like, you don't control the speed anymore, it just goes as fast as possible. Which means you gotta be accurate on your tools. Wow. Whoa. It's so sensitive. Left more. Oops. Now keep in mind I'm using a disc controller. So right and left is a little bit more trickier because you got all these directions that your disc can move in. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Another thing that can happen is the parts can catch on fire. And if you let this go for too long, your circuit board burns out. Oh no. Uh-oh. I think that needs the, that's where it catches on fire.
Oh no!
And I just blew my city up. Now that's a hard level. That's for sure is a hard level. Yeah, so as you can see, this is very important to actually have to read it, and this. I mean, I found so many times I had to look down at my controller and figure out what I was, what button to press. Now, obviously, if you play the game enough, you can do it without these overlays. Like once you learn where all the buttons are, you probably never look at them. It's just like a keyboard. After a while, you get used to the keys. You know where they are. You don't have to look at the keyboard every time. But I find that this always helps, especially in a situation where you're under pressure and you're focusing on the game, and then sometimes you just got to look down and be like, oh, what was that again? What do I have to press? But yeah, I mean, this is where all your tools are. So you got your wire snips that I showed you. That was your extractor that took the part. That's the soldering gun. And lastly was the fire extinguisher. So you notice when the part started blinking, it kind of meant it was on fire in a sense. Like you got to put that part out. And if you don't, boom, it blows up. Now, most cases when you would take too long in a certain section, it would just burn out. And then you can't know what that's going to be anymore. Then you just got to move on to another square. But because I was playing that on such the higher advanced level, and the part was actually on fire, that actually blew up the whole city. It was kind of fun to actually watch the whole city explode. But, in real life, that would not be a good thing. So, I mean, yeah, this was my point. It's a much different game. And you have to think, in those days, when people were building or creating these games, they didn't have a whole lot to go on that was out there. I mean, the arcades were starting to come up with games like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, and then you had like 1,000 space games and sports games. So for the programmer to come up with this concept and this idea, and to utilize the voice module in a way that they could actually make the game work. Now, I have to admit, I mean, it does get a little bit stale that all you're ever doing is really in that one circuit stage, and you're just changing parts. I mean, but when you start playing in the later levels, like if you start going into the higher up, difficulties, it does get a little bit challenging. When you saw the part fly down there, you saw the part catch on fire, your timer starts running faster, your tools are faster, and yes, when you're playing in the later levels, it is hard. I don't know if I would ever be able to complete that one I just showed you. That was 3 digits that you have to figure out, and you got like no time to do it. So anyways, yeah, I think if you have an Intellivision, the IntelliVoice is a good module to pick up. You should definitely try and find one. They're not hard to find. I've seen lots of them. The games are pretty easy to find too. I have all of them except for, I think, Solar Sailor is the only one I don't have. It's a Tron game. So if anybody has that and they want to hook me up with that game, I'd love to buy it off you. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you try out Bomb Squad. Leave some comments below. Tell me what you think of the game. And talk to you later.